Hi everyone, it's day 6 and the penultimate day of opening up in lockdown. Thank you for being here. We've talked about growth and goals, holding ourselves accountable, and how we, avoid procrastinating. Today's going to be more around. It's going to be more for those people who don't know where to start. They don't know what the goals are going to be. They know they need change. They want growth, but they're not sure what needs to give. And again, this is just things that have worked for me so far. We're all different, and I'll go on to some more tools towards the end. But first things first, and I think probably most important, I'm sure most important, mental health. Check in with your mental health, just like with your physical health. If you are struggling with something, if something's going on in there, then don't internalize it. What are your support networks like? Have you got people around you that you can talk to? I know from personal experience it can be quite difficult to talk to the people that you know and love and who are around you all the time, not just from fear of burdening them, but from not knowing what the right words are and not wanting maybe to talk about it all the time. You worry someone with something, they might constantly ask you, "You all right? You all right? You all right?" There's a huge number of reasons why we might not talk to those closest to us, and that's all right. But do you have a network that you can access? Opportunity here for me to say a massive thank you to York Menfulness. They're a group you can add on Facebook, and I highly recommend it. They're a group of blokes just like me who are going through some stuff, and there's no expectation among them that we sort of meet up and talk about our feelings all the time or anything like that. And they do run meetups, they run walk and talks, they run a social circuits on a Tuesday. Obviously not at the moment, but there's an acceptance there. There's a permission there to talk about what's going on with you and know that there's not going to be any judgment. And there's also a limit to how vested you are. There's no expectation that we're going to solve each other's stuff. There's just an acceptance that we can talk about it and we can share experience and coping mechanisms and things like that. And they've been instrumental in getting me to a point where I can then talk to my friends and family because I've found the words by then. So massive thank you to York Menfulness. Please do, if you're in York and this sounds like it's relevant to you, give them an ad. And yeah, get your network right. Everyone needs one. So another few things that have worked as well for me, a coach from York called Andrea Morrison. She has this phrase, easy life, and she spells easy a bit differently to you and I. And it's an acronym. So, eat, sleep, exercise, enjoy. Easy. Eat and sleep. You've got to be eating right and sleeping enough to look after your brain, And then exercise. You've got to be looking after your body. And then enjoy, because you've got to be doing something that's just for you, that you enjoy doing or that you can be good at. And that if you can get those 4 things in the right balance and as part of your daily life, then you're setting yourself up for the best productivity, positivity, mental health journey that you can have. So it's worked for me. The exercise bit was where I was lacking for a lot of years, and adding that back into my routine has worked wonders for me. And so I guess that's another possible question to ask yourself. Have you got that balance right? And while you're at it, add Andrea Morrison. She's got a great social media presence. She's always positive. If you run a small business, she has a network there as well. She's brilliant. So get her added as well. I'll post a link. What else worked for me? Volunteering worked for me. It was a friend of mine who said to me that, do you do any volunteering? Do you do any of that sort of stuff? And I didn't. I hadn't done for a long time. And so I started looking for a volunteering opportunity. And within a few days of starting to make those searches, I got a newsletter through with a quote at the bottom saying, can you help your local community cinema? And this cinema had existed around the corner from me that was in real need of some help. And I just never knew that it even existed. And so sometimes the right opportunity for you is just around the corner, but you just have to open your eyes to it. And for me, volunteering, meeting like-minded people in my community, walking distance from my house, working on shared goals, getting to know people. There's a sense of community and belonging there that I think everybody should have access to and needs. If there isn't an opportunity like that around, why not look to create one with something that you are interested in? So volunteering, I'll post the links. I did 10 days of positivity, which I'll post a link to because I wrote some blogs about that. And so I'll post that as well. But again, this is just, it's a very weird experience, this whole thing, because I don't want it to be lectury. Everyone is different. Everyone's journey is going to be different. These are the things that have kind of worked for me. And then finally, I think for me has been this coaching experience. This isn't where I go, right, so now I'll coach you all. Just ring this number and I'll coach you over the phone for a small fee. That's not it. I'm on a different path right now. But consider a coach. Consider learning how to coach. If any of this has really sort of triggered something in you, like it did when I first started learning about it, then follow that. Start picking at that thread. What might it uncover? And that growth mindset can be a life changer. So think about coaching. 2 little tools to finish on, both relating to circles. The first one is the Circle of Life tool, and it's really straightforward. And I can't remember who it's by, but I will post links to it so you can find out. But it's so straightforward. When I've pulled it out, it's been when I've had somebody who doesn't know where to start, but knows they need something. And so imagine a circle, a pie chart with pies at equal sizes, pie slices at equal sizes. And at each end of the slice, there's a title. So it could be, it's things that make up your life. A full life. So for some people, it might be financial security, hobbies, family, relationships, all those sorts of things around the edge. You can decide what they are, or there's types online that I'll post examples. But the idea is that you colour in each of those sections of that pie to the amount that you feel full and complete in your life. So you might be like, my hobbies, I'm really into this thing and I'm great at it. You fill that section of the pie in, but you might feel that your financial security or career goals are lacking. So that's only coloured in half, say. And the idea is it's a visual representation of what parts of your life and how satisfied you are with them. And it sounds like it should be straightforward. And again, some people, maybe this comes naturally, but for some, it can really help just to look at, well, now I know that section of my life is the one that needs the most work. And what can I do to try and fill that section back up again? So have a go at that if you're not sure where to begin. If you follow your gut, if your gut tells you something's right for you, then it probably is. And then finally, the Circle of Influence. This is one by Stephen Covey in his book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And he envisages a circle of concern, stuff that we are worried about, thinking about, maybe goals, maybe just everything that concerns us. Right now, it could be coronavirus, the weather outside, work, whether my job's still going to be there next week. All the sorts of stuff that gets in our heads can go into that circle of concern. But then inside of that, there's a circle of influence, a smaller circle of what we can actually impact. And so for me, it's about putting stuff from the circle of concern into the circle of influence. And that's the stuff that we want to be focusing on, because things like other people's opinions and coronavirus are outside of our circle of influence. And so we need to park them for now. Because they're a waste of resources, of mental resources for us to focus on them and start to look at what remains in that circle of influence. What can we achieve? And you can grow that circle of influence. You can upskill yourself. You can grow your networks of people who might be able to change things for you. So there's no reason why the circle of influence can't change. But certainly it's helped me to start to try and be. I'm not an expert at it. But the more I use it to try and focus on what's important, the more productive I've become, the more I'm able to regulate what I spend my time thinking about. So have a go at these things. Have a look at your life. If you're nodding along saying, I need something to give, but I don't know what it is, maybe some of these things can help you start to look at where your goals might lie. if any of it's been of interest to you, please drop something in the comments for me. I'd love to hear from you. And yes, ready for tomorrow and the final day. Thank you so much for being here and good luck with it. See you soon.